Hello and welcome. This is Tips Tuesday. I'm Brian Kale. I'm with Ascender Professional Coaching. We do career and executive coaching. The topic for this week is Resume 101. So, for this week, I wanted to go back and talk about a topic I haven't talked about for quite a while, revisit it. In the work that we do in career coaching, resume is a very important topic. It's a core topic. In my opinion, a resume is still the cornerstone of doing a job search, so it's important to understand the different formats that are available and have the best product, the best presentation that you can in your resume. So to start the topic off, I want to talk quickly about the three major type of formats that you may see. For resumes, the oldest, the most traditional is called chronological or historical. And in this format, you have your contact information at the top, then you simply list your work history, and you may have an education section at the bottom. That's it. Pretty simple. Again, this is the most traditional, the oldest format. Frankly, this format is going away. It's been a long time since I've seen a true chronological or historical resume. So, brings me to a very different format, radically different format called functional resume. And I'm going to try to cover this quickly because, frankly, for 90% of the people out there, 90% of the professionals, I would not recommend use of a functional resume. And if you'd like to know why and kind of what's behind that, why I say that, probably makes sense to connect up with me. We'll set up a consultation. I'll be happy to go into all of that. But just in summary, in a functional resume, you've got your contact information at the top. Then you've got a list of skills. You have various skills sections. So you may have management skills and list some detail, and technical skills and list some detail there. So you've got a number of subsections that are skills section, and then toward the bottom you have a list of the companies that you've worked for in a paragraph format, and then you may have an education section. Again, that's about all I want to say about the functional resume format, because for most people, I would not recommend use of a functional format. Which brings me to the third resume, which is becoming more and more common. It's the most common. It's called combined resume. So for this combined resume, I actually have got a sample. I've got my resume. So we can use this as an example. By the way, as I said last week, rule number one, always have a current resume. I mean, always have a current resume. It's very important. If the unforeseen happens, that's one less thing you have to worry about, knowing that you've got an up-to-date resume that you can work with and start your job search. But to get into the combined resume format, and the idea of a combined resume, a reader, recruiter, HR department, they're going to be able to understand and see the flow, the work history flow, but it's also going to bring in a little bit of the, I want to call it the bling of a functional resume by use of bullet points that call up particular accomplishments and maybe particular skills as well. So just taking a look at this as an example, contact information at the top. Optional, but then there's usually some kind of a summary section. It could be called professional summary, qualification summary, something like that. It's optional, but in the career work that we do, I typically will work with the client to create a very effective summary section that's right at the top. So you want to grab the reader's attention right at the top with that summary section. Then go into work history, and that's, starting with your last or your most current job at the top. Then the other thing that you'll see is there are some bullets here, some bullet points, and again, this is to call out certain accomplishments and achievements, kind of bring in that wow factor for the reader, and bring a little more life into the resume, a little more interest. So go through the work history section, then in my resume at the bottom, I do have an education section. My work history is pretty long because I've had a long career, and I've tried to capture the last 10 to 15 years. And a common question that I get around resumes: how far back in job history should a person go? And there's two schools of thought. One opinion is go back 10 years. So conservatively, I would say go back 10 years in work history. Another school of thought is go back 15. And to me, it really comes down to a marketing consideration. Depends on the specific job that you're applying to. And again, if you want to work with me on the strategy involved there and what drives that decision, connect up with me and I'd be happy to do a consultation with you. We'll get into it. But that's it. That's the combined resume format. Again, contact information at the top. Make sure your phone number, email address, they're easy to read. Then I would recommend you, for most people, some type of a summary section, maybe a professional profile section. And then listing of your work experience, starting with your last or most current job first, then going back in time, and then an education section. Those are the main points of a combined resume, and it's the one that 90% of the time I recommend to my clients to use, to utilize and use that format. That's what I had for this week. I hope everyone is having a great year so far and hope this was helpful. I'll talk with you soon.